Okay, so on my last visit to my dentist as a child, my dentist claimed that apparently I was going to have a wisdom tooth that was going to come in at such an angle that it was going to impact my tooth that was going to cause catastrophic damage. So he put this little cap in there in my gum line. And years later, eating some food, that cap came out and smashed one. Well, it didn't smash, but it impacted one of my back teeth, the back teeth on this side. And that then caused pain, which I needed to be drilled and got a filling. It was just a hole. The rest of the tooth was perfectly fine and intact. 8 years after that filling, eventually that decroded, and I've moved away from my last dentist since then and moved to a new dentist. And this was the first ever visit to that dentist. That dentist said, "Oh, that was only a temporary filling. I can tell because of the material and some sort of other bullshit," and was saying, "Oh, you need a crown. With a crown, it will last like 20, 30 years. And I can see that, because of the gum line where it is near, you definitely need a crown, because otherwise it will keep coming out." Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I agreed because I would rather have something that would stay in my mouth for 20, 30 years than something else that's going to come out and, maybe damage some other stuff whilst I'm eating again. So I agreed to that. And so I end up going to the dentist and, the next visit, they drill. The dentist goes, "Do you want to just see how it goes and not be numbed up at all?" And of course I say no. Even with the numbing, I still feel all of the drilling and pain. So, I dread to feel how much I'd be squirming if I didn't have the numbing, because I can literally feel them drilling into my teeth. And yeah, every time she's like, "Oh, we're just going to drill away what's left of the other filling." Lies again, because I had perfectly intact a lot of tooth, and it was just a drilled hole. And now I'm missing a quarter of my tooth because they kept drilling away more and more of my tooth that was perfectly healthy and perfectly fine. And so yeah, that's one drilling to make that, and then I needed to go in and get a mold, which they could have done on that first drilling, right? They drilled that away pointlessly to put some more temporary filling in, to then come back and have it drilled out again, where again they take out more and more of the actual healthy tooth, and then they take the molds and then go away, come back 2 weeks later, and again they said that mold wasn't good enough, drill more and more, and again I'm feeling more and more of the healthy tooth getting drilled away. This time she drilled into the gum line as well, and I could feel it right down into my gum. Really, really, really horrible. And they use a different kind of mold material this time. There's me lying on the dentist chair, leaned right the way back, because it's basically a bed. She puts in top mold to take the whole of my mouth this time. Different material, now it's a gel. No warning that this shit is going to go down my throat and almost choke me to death, as it blocks off my entire airway and I have to block it with my tongue, and I can no longer breathe with my mouth. I have to breathe through my nose, and because of the fact that I damaged my nose in high school and I can't breathe properly in one side of the nose, very, very challenging. And then they're like, "Oh, move your feet." So I'm struggling to move my feet up and down because they're making me do that whilst I'm trying to concentrate on breathing, because I can't breathe through my mouth because they've almost choked me to death by putting this goo in my mouth that they didn't even warn me was going to go down my throat and block off my airway. And then, they do the same to the bottom, but at least this time I'm prepared and I can block it. And they took like 2 minutes before they sat me back up, and I was still choking on this shit and almost dying. And then, come back in 2 more weeks, and then they yet again drill. And now the entirety of the back quarter of my tooth is gone, which is horrible. And I feel utterly mutilated and assaulted by this entire situation, because, I had a perfectly healthy tooth that they could have just filled in. And when I was agreeing to the crown filling, I thought they'd just put stuff in the hole that was already there, get a mold on that, fill that hole with a precisely measured thing, because they lied and were like, oh, we need precise measurements. That's why we have to keep getting these molds again. And then they drill more and more of my healthy tooth away. Not just drilling the filling that was in there, they're drilling the healthy tooth away more and more. And then I've got a massive, massive hole there now. And the thing that they put in was too big, to be fair. Didn't fit right. And they tried gluing it 2 times. And then, you know, the second time it sort of held, but it was far too big in my mouth to talk, really. And definitely not chew. And I'm struggling to only chew on one side of my mouth. Can't even close that properly to chew properly because of the stupid filling that was too big. And then 4 days later, I'm finally like, I'm just going to try and eat something properly and chew properly. And I have a tuna sandwich. The softest possible fucking meal known to man. And of course it immediately comes out. And now I've got this massive hole that wasn't there before, where they've drilled away 1/4 of my tooth, and I just feel horribly mutilated, lied to as well, because this shit is not going to last for 30 years. It didn't even last 4 fucking days. If you'd have given me just an ordinary filling, that shit would have been fine and lasted years, and I would have still had most of my healthy tooth. They never once told me they were going to be drilling away more and more of my healthy tooth, and it's just assaults. It literally assaults, and I hate it. And I've had to go in so many times now to keep getting repeatedly drilled, and every time she'd be like, are you sure you don't want to just go with it and see how it goes? And it wasn't just drilling the existing filling that was there. Every time she was drilling healthy tooth away, I could feel the nerve endings being attacked, and it's horrible. And like, you know, oh, we're just going to use a little bit of the numbing agent. Clearly it's not working on me. She knows that it doesn't take very good effect, and she knows that I'm feeling all of this still. And she's like, I mean, why don't you just want to go with it? Because they want to cheap out and be shitheads. And that's not on. And yeah, no, obviously I'm feeling this, and yes, you should be using more of the numbing agent so that I can actually be numbed and not feel this shit. But no, I'm feeling the pain of you drilling into my mouth and into my teeth and taking more and more of my healthy tooth. And you think that I want to just go with it when I'm clearly flinching under the numbing that you've given me, and it's not enough? No, I don't want to just go with it and see how it goes, because I'll probably flinch and end up with the drill halfway in my mouth and a severe fucking injury. But you've mutilated me enough as it is, and this shitty filling doesn't even stay in. And now I can't eat properly, so every time it has to come out just to be able to even fucking eat. And it's horrible, and I hate it. And I'm going to have to fucking go back to the dentist again and try and get them to sort it. Because they've eaten half of my tooth and deleted it, I can't even just get an ordinary filling anymore. They have to somehow make this shit work and stay in, because I've been fucking mutilated. I hate it. And it was perfectly fine and healthy, no pain, nothing. It just needed a filling. And, oh, yeah, no, this is no mention of ruining my teeth. No, you need this because of the gum line. Bullshit. Don't ever fucking get a crown. You'll be in so many times. They'll cut more and more of your healthy tooth away. And then they'll just leave you with something that doesn't even fit in. It comes out because it's a piece of shit. Horrible experience. I can see why people hate the dentist now. I've never had a problem with the dentist, but, you know, after so many times being drilled over and over and over again in a month, it's just horrible. No, don't do it. If they ever offer you a crown, no, just take the temporary filling. It's better. Like, at least you'll still have your tooth. And this shit ain't gonna stay in anyway. It's not any better. It's worse. It's because half your tooth missing. Now you've got nothing.